Hi Aries. Actually, just laid the cards out and somebody was knocking at the door. So rather than start the whole reading over, or rather than try to splice it all together, I'm just going to start over with the reading. I didn't even say anything. I was just throwing the cards out because having to edit video together adds like another half hour to my time with this, and I'm not going to do it. Okay, sorry. I did shuffle the cards on camera initially, but everybody's reading other readings. I did it, but you have such a great reading too. I don't want to not read it. I wanted to make note that this is a big month also because we are having the solstice this month, and the solstice is a time of change of seasons, just like when the sun moves into Aries, your sign. And when the sun moves into all the cardinal signs, including Aries, Cancer, Libra, and Capricorn, we change seasons, and this is what's happening in June as well, and that's on the 21st, and that's going to affect everybody. Okay, the first thing I wanted to talk about, I need to do a little smudging. There's a little bit of funky energy, I think, going on around here. I got a little bit of smudge we're going to light. You have a really, really nice reading here, too. That's why I didn't want to pick it up. It's like, oh, I don't want to pick it up and start over. Look at this sweet reading that Aries has. So, again, we're just going to go with it. In the center issue, let's get the elephant in the room first. We have the Ace of Rods in reverse. Now, that's, Ace of Rods upright is a seed that you're planting that blooms and grows. And in reverse, it says it does not bloom and grow. But I would not be concerned about that with the rest of the spread. When this kind of stuff shows up, it's just like, well, that wasn't meant for you. Don't sweat it. And it really doesn't look like you're sweating it at all. Aries is always ready to go on to the next thing. You're not usually one to sit around crying over spilled milk or why didn't this happen, because you always are right on to the next thing right away, so. But be aware that there could be a new beginning that you wanted to start that doesn't quite get off the ground. But there's other stuff, beautiful stuff, right around the corner. The very first card out was the High Priestess. The High Priestess is a card of intuition, of this inner knowing. Pay attention to your dreams when the High Priestess shows up in your spread. It also is next to this King of Cups. Could be male or female, either or, because there's no gender in these readings. But the King of Cups is somebody very favorable. Now, when the King of Cups shows next to the High Priestess, it usually means that this person is crazy about this one. They're crazy about them. They're madly in love with them. They think that they're just it. And I think that for many of you, this could be like that for you. Like somebody's really just into you, like big time. They're just like, and they're letting you know it. This isn't any kind of, when these two cards show up together, this isn't any kind of little shy, oh, do they like me, do they not like me? They're letting you know for sure. That, because he's he or she is this Ace of Cups. That's that loving cup. He's saying, I like you, I want to be with you. He's extending this cup. Do you want to be my Valentine or whatever, be mine. And this could be the arrows of love hitting their mark too. So, if that's the case, for some of you, it could just be a really cool relationship that's not sexual. It could just be a really great friendship and somebody that just really likes you, and it's just a professional relationship or a great friendship. Because sometimes the Ace of Rods is saying it's not sexual. Or it just doesn't maybe start out as friends, and then it turns into more later. But there's a heart connection. Whether or not there's a sexual connection, I can tell you for sure there's a heart connection, okay? And things are going to move quickly. This person's letting you know. They're letting you know they think that you're cool, they want to be with you, they like you a lot. And, just go for it. This could be you. And usually, I usually say, well, all the young dudes carry the news, and that is the case, too, with the pages. And there's news coming. That could be a thing. It totally is a thing. But I think this is kind of you, because pages are technically people, and this would be the fire sign person. So this is you. This is you, because it's by this childhood card, or childhood thing. So it could be like you as a child, or you, I'm hearing that Pink Floyd song. When I was a child, I caught a fleeting glimpse out of the corner of my eye. I turned to look, but it was gone. I cannot put my finger on it now. The child is gone. The dream is something. It's Comfortably Numb is the song. But I just heard that song come through. So maybe it has something to do with that song. I'm not going to go look it up right this second. You can look it up on your own if you want to. And it may have some relevance to you. Maybe that's just even a song. Like when I hear certain songs, it reminds me of, you know, people. I'm sure we all have that, right? So maybe it's actually the song, Comfortably Numb, reminds you of somebody or something. But there's some kind of happiness from the past here. Of you as a childhood, or you feeling like your old self again, or you feeling just so young and fresh and new and just ready for anything. The bottom part's talking more about some financial things. Now, I kind of feel for some of you that this is something, a childhood dream that you had. When I grow up, I want to be fill in the blank. What did you say? I just looked up and saw leader. It's like follow the leader. I'll show you what I'm looking at in a minute. Like follow the leader, that's a children's game too. It could be like that. But when you were a kid and they said, what do you want to be when you grow up? What did you say? Maybe that's the dream is gone, like the Pink Floyd song. You know, but there could be some kind of, you know, opportunity for that to come about. Some of you are going to go back to school, or you need more training. But I don't feel like it's a ton of training. I don't feel like it's 8 years of school or anything. But there's some learning that has to be done to reach this state of really cool stuff. 9 of Pentacles. Financially sound, secure, possibly having your own business. I said this in another reading. Maybe some of you are getting a real estate license or something like that, or some kind of certification where you just have to go for, you know, a few months or something, or a few weeks. And then Chariot. Chariot is the highest success card in the entire deck. It's victory, triumph. It's Phoenix rising from the ashes. It's rising above any negative circumstances. I mean, whatever this little drop in the bucket is here about this little hold up or whatever, it's not going to be anything that's going to hold you back in the long run, not by a long shot. This is a huge month for making strides in finances as well as heart-related matters. Some of you are going to fall madly in love. And with this card too, it could be somebody from your past too. But they like you. They are into you, and they are letting you know that they are into you. Okay, here's what I was looking at, and I saw that leader. These are these mandalas. If you've watched my videos before, you probably saw I did a calendar of them. I do them for your chart, but I also did these astrology ones. So this is yours, the Aries one here, you know. And I put them on t-shirts already, but I did a new line of t-shirts now. And I put like keywords, so it's like warrior, you know. It doesn't not say Aries. Just know that ahead of time. But I did that on purpose. I think it's just, you know, Aries the ram. There's a million shirts like this. I think this is kind of unique. It has the Aries symbol. It says ram there. It says fire. It says Mars. It says everything about you. So it could be like a conversation starter. Plus it's just a cool design. But I thought it's like a cool conversation starter. Like, oh, what's that shirt? What does that mean? You know, people want to read your shirt and find out about it. So if you want to check it out, you can. This is what that solstice reading that I'm going to be offering is about. I put your chart here and then the solstice chart on the outside. There's a lot happening with this solstice. It's making a lot of aspects, so there'll be a lot to talk about. But I talk about it as it relates just to your chart. It's astrology based, but it's not strictly an astrology reading by any means. I definitely interpret it psychically and pick things up psychically. Oh, there's your card already. And I pull an animal totem card with that reading too. So you get the 3-month read of the aspects to your chart from the solstice, which is a new thing. I do that I've always done that. I've always ran this on my chart for years, you know, before YouTube. And then I kind of got away from doing it. It's like, man, why am I not doing these ingress charts? It's a very solid predictor of the upcoming season. And then I pull an animal totem. But anyways, your animal totem flew out of the deck. And some of you are going to have some major love stuff happening, because this is, hummingbird is a love bird for sure. When you see a hummingbird, you're supposed to be falling in love. Love is in the air. Okay, here's what I wrote initially. By the way, I don't know if I mentioned, this is the Rock'n'Roll Tarot deck. And now this is the animal totem cards, both my own creation. You can find them on my site. But here's what I wrote. Love abounding, laughter and joy. Elevated vibration brings glimpses of magic. The fairy folk surely dance nearby. Savor the sweet bouquet and taste the nectar of life. Yeah, so I think, love is definitely happening for many Aries this month. I don't know why, particularly if there's any, I'm not up on any astrological thing that might be happening off the top of my head, but boy, the cards are sure showing it. So somebody's crazy about you, and there's some little disappointments, but that's just to move on to the next thing, and I don't see you guys ever having a problem about moving on to the next thing. Okay, thanks for understanding about throwing the spread over, but that just is a whole lot of, you might think it's only a couple minutes, but it's a lot more time on my part to edit everything together. It takes a long time, so that's why I've cut out the intros on the videos. I don't want to edit them. I'm just going to upload them, and there we go, okay? But anyways, Aries, thanks so much for tuning in. Do check out those t-shirts. If you want a direct link to the Aries shirt, the direct link will be in the description below, or to show more. You can check out my website. There's links below. I have decks, I have books, I have readings, I have t-shirts, I have mandalas, I have all sorts of things. And by you purchasing my wares and contributing, that's how these readings continue to be free every month, as well as liking, sharing, commenting, and donating, which you can donate any amount of money. Is none too small. Have a happy solstice, a happy month of June. Remember, you are love and beauty incarnate, and I'll speak to you soon.